Hi, I'm Lauren Robinet, and this is my thesis titled Literacy in the 21st Century. Why should it not be integrated into education? Today's society involves a digital, media-driven world, and educators need to turn from traditional literacy to accepting new technology and digital media. In 2013, 80% of 2 to 4-year-old children were engaged with digital media daily. This statistic is not surprising since 99% of Canadian households with children have access to the internet. Technology is all some of these children know. The National Association for the Education of Young Children recognized this and released a statement stating that technology can be used effectively as a tool when it is developmentally appropriate and supports learning goals for children. Technology is the future as it is constantly changing to keep up with the times. Print literacy may never go away, but digital literacy is here to stay, so children need to have that flexibility. Society is evolving, and education needs to evolve with it to not fall behind. Literacy is heading into a digitalized world as it accepts these changes related to the 21st century. Educators play an integral role in this process and need to be supported to support their students. School boards need to find what supports they need to provide to the teachers who are not comfortable with technology so they can be ready to support their students. However, time constraints, poor internet connectivity, and a lack of resources act as barriers to digital practice. Technology opens more options for educators to use to teach literacy. It can help children with disabilities and children who are financially disadvantaged. More opportunities for learning are created when technology and literacy are intertwined. The purpose of this study is to analyze what strategies need to be put into place for this successful integration. This study aims to review the literature on the options available to educators and how they can be successfully integrated to prove that technology has a place in the classroom. Educators cannot complete this integration on their own. Why would educators and school boards authorize this integration if it did not have benefits for the students? Conducting a literature review on these topics will culminate in the development of a pamphlet for educators. The research questions I used to guide my study are: what supports are available to educators? How can the new be merged with the old? What are the benefits of this integration for the students? Literacy is defined as reading and writing, but also has evolved to include understanding, interpretation, and communication in a digital world. The way literacy is presented in schools is different than the way it was presented 10 years ago. If literacy in education does not make changes soon, it may get left behind. Children are digitalized beings, and eventually there will be no use for paper-based literacy as this generation has grown up in a society immersed in technology more than any other generation. The motivation behind this research is to disprove media reports released by organizations such as the Canadian Pediatric Society's position that suggests adults should keep children away from screens. For example, they suggest early screen exposure is related to delayed language acquisition and lower vocabulary and grammar scores. The research included in this paper proves that the use of screens can successfully be used to teach language, vocabulary, and grammar. In some situations, it can even improve children's grades and literacy development. The topic of literacy is important to everyone because everyone is involved in the discussion, such as parents, students, school boards, the Ministry of Education, researchers, and pediatricians. The theory I used was Lev Vygotsky's sociocultural theory. He believed human development was a socially constructed process in which children acquired cultural values, beliefs, and problem-solving strategies through interacting with their community and culture. Learning from these interactions takes place at a social level and then at an individual level. Children learn through shared experiences at school and then apply what they learn in different contexts. The 21st century and technology frame the culture that children are growing up in. Children control and direct their behavior by using signs and tools to develop new psychological forms and functions. The technology used by children can be considered cultural tools. Technology is a tool of the culture children in this generation are growing up in. Once a teacher has confidence in teaching literacy through technology, they can use scaffolding to assist their students in reaching their full potential. Scaffolding includes the teacher knowing their students' development level and providing them with new experiences to push them to extend their existing knowledge so they incorporate new skills, competencies, and understandings. The literature I found looked at the following topics. How can the new be merged with the old? Old ways of learning are associated with print-based literacy, including skills learned through traditional paper-based text. New ways of learning are skills that can be learned through technology. This type of learning should be used in schools because the children involved are considered digital natives. For example, new technology can replicate skills associated with print text or old literacies, while creating new literacies, multiple identities, multimodality, and global participation. What are the benefits of this integration for the students? There are many options available to educators that can benefit children in different ways. There are electronic storybooks, apps that encourage storytelling, and computer-assisted learning has been used to teach phonological awareness skills to students with disabilities. As long as a resource is developmentally appropriate, it should enhance what they learn and how they learn. Educators must be on board with the idea of integrating technology with literacy successfully. They need to have content knowledge, knowledge of the technology they will be using, and the capabilities and limitations of that technology. Teachers suggested that time constraints, poor internet connectivity, and a lack of resources acted as barriers to digital practice. What supports are available to educators? Teacher education programs need to look at how they change the curriculum to reflect this practice. Another suggestion was for school boards to have instructional technologists with whom teachers can make an appointment with and have attend the class to co-teach with the teacher until they felt comfortable enough. The principal of a school can also be used for support. For this research, a qualitative approach involving non-numerical data was used. To find research-based articles on literacy and technology being used together in the classroom, I used OmniSearch on the Brock University Library Catalog and a Google Scholar search. The following keywords were entered into the search engine: digital technology, literacy technology, technology and children, literacy technology teachers, and technology and literacy. Once the results were populated, I narrowed the search to scholarly peer-reviewed journal articles published between 2000 and 2022. The articles also needed to be based in North America, written in English, include children between the ages of 0 and 8, and include schools or community-based childcare. 19 articles were found and used in this research study. Once the 19 research articles were found, they were further analyzed using a thematic approach using themes uncovered from the literature review. To generate initial codes, I highlighted the codes according to what research question they answered. The next step was to sort the different codes found in the previous step into potential themes, and the relevant coded data extracts were organized within the identified themes. Once the codes were identified, they were refined to determine if there was enough data to support a theme, which was removed or combined if separate themes were related. To determine if there was enough data to support a theme, the word frequencies were charted and compared. After the codes were refined, they were named to match the themes found in the literature review. I used codes to categorize the themes into various forms of technology and tools, education professionals, and the benefits of this integration. Since there were many codes, I charted the word frequencies of each theme. Here's a graph I created to show word frequencies to help me code my literature. From this graph, you can see what words were used most frequently throughout the articles. In 19 articles, technology, literacy, and teachers appeared the most. I could see technology was a high category, therefore I went back and broke down the various forms of technology. Therefore, a computer and iPad were used most often in the classrooms. A camera was used the least. A teacher would be able to choose from various tools that are available. Each tool option has positives and negatives that a teacher would have to evaluate. The themes found in the research revealed many things. The theme of technology revealed many different forms of technology, such as digital technology and multimodal. Digital technologies refer to devices such as laptops and tablets, tools such as cameras, systems such as software and apps, and less tangible forms of technology such as the internet. The theme of early childhood revealed how it includes the classroom setting as well as the school's principal. The principal could be used to support teachers as they transition to a digitalized world. However, many people think of the principal as an outlier as they are not directly involved in the classroom environment, but they can also be a resource teachers can rely on. Only one article out of the 19 articles mentioned disabilities. This may lead to the assumption that disabilities are not a primary use of technology, even though it does have many benefits for students, or this may not be an area that has seen a lot of research. Technology can assist teachers in helping students with disabilities and students who are learning English as a second language. The theme of literacy revealed how many different forms of literacy can be supported with technology, such as reading, writing, phonics, sounds, letters, and communication. For example, children can read a book electronically instead of reading a physical copy of it. These new forms of literacy show how the new can be merged with the old ways of teaching literacy. These findings inspired the pamphlet titled How Can Technology Teach Literacy?, which provides content that was influenced by the uncovered themes. The target age group of this pamphlet is parents of children between 0 to 8 years of age, educators in early childhood programs, and teachers educating up to grade 3. The aim of this pamphlet is to introduce parents and educators to the idea that technology can be used to teach literacy. Teachers can even use technology to complement their lessons. Parents can use this pamphlet to teach their children lessons at home or help them with their homework assignments. The research I conducted can influence what is put into practice and future research. The aim of this research was to show various children's health societies and parents that children using screens is a positive interaction. Most parents are involved in their children's education and want to know what and how they are learning. This study presented the benefits of integrating technology into existing literacy teaching practices for children's literacy development. Parents will turn to the experts to gather an opinion on a change to their child's education. This is where children's health societies and other children's experts should support this decision. The hope is that more schools and teachers will adapt this technology in their classrooms. This study looked at the impact of integrating technology into existing literacy practices for students at school. It would be interesting to see how it affected the home environment. If 99% of Canadian households with children have access to the internet, it'd be interesting to discover how it affects the 1% of the population who do not have access to the internet at home. Future research can analyze how that 1% of the population is affected by the use of technology in schools and not in the home. Would those students be at a disadvantage? In conclusion, the benefits of using technology in schools is just being discovered and explored. This study showed how much of an impact technology has on us and how methods and techniques used in education are constantly changing to keep up with society as new innovations are created. This study also revealed the variety of technological tools educators have to choose from. If educators are given the support they require, then the integration of technology into existing literacy practices will be seamless. Principals are a form of support that can be given to teachers. Educators should be given time to research material and evaluate for authenticity. Using resources such as the pamphlet presented will aid educators in finding research material. School boards will need to improve internet connectivity in schools and provide professional development for educators. This study hopes to have alleviated the worry from parents, educational professionals, and children's health professionals.